aware of the contributions that Howard made to the activities here, but there were very many of them that he did. If you haven't been here long, you probably don't know what it was like before. As our representative to the board, Howard championed a number of improvements. Those who have played tennis here for a while remember the conditions of the courts. These courts were pretty bad. They had cracks, dead spots, they were slick, and had several low puddle areas. So it was a mess. Howard worked with the HOA to get us high caliber courts that have none of those old issues. We're all happy with these courts. In addition, Howard worked on getting replacement fences. We had some pretty bad fences, so these got replaced, and we got curtains, which is great for when we're playing in the wind and just making sure nobody looks at us while we're playing. He also we had some older lights. Howard got us high density lighting, which if any of you all ever use them, they're wonderful. They play out here in the evenings and it's just great. We have a storage shed over there, and we'll use that to store different things. One is that Vic got us from one of our old players a ball machine, so we have that in there. And he also got us, and Howard also got us a leaf blower, because you know, if you play over here in these trees, particularly in the fall, we have to blow the courts off every day.
And Bill, we don't get the treatment that the golfers get.
That is true. I don't know if you all heard that, but we don't get the treatment that the golfers get.
Say 300 hours a month, they'll give us good treatment.
So probably the biggest, well, another big contribution is that prior to us getting this wonderful pavilion here, as we call it, we either sat along the fence, tried to find some shade. We finally got one table sitting out there, and if we get a little money there, and so Howard worked with, well, the other thing is some folks were dumb enough to sit under that tree under there, and that tree is covered with chiggers. And Larry and I can tell you about the chigger bites if you want to know about it. But all of that changed when Howard worked with the board and got us this pavilion here, and it's just been wonderful. We enjoyed it. It's just changed everything about it, allowing us to stay out of the sun, and also our social activities. So the thing of it was with Howard did all of this without fanfare, without asking to be thanked. Howard just did his job and did it great. So I said, so what I wanted to finish up with is, I said, Howard, we're all going to show our appreciation for all you have done. It is only fitting that this wonderful pavilion should bear your name. So I think we ought to give a round of applause.
How many pages you got, Joe? An hour and 48 minutes to go.
I just received a lot of comments about Howard and friendships and the things that he did and all that. I pulled a couple of them out, and you may have heard them a few weeks ago.
Did you sense that?
Pat said he's a class act. He will be spoken of often over the coming years when we sit under and talking about tennis, our new courts, the new pavilion, the plantings around the pavilion. Howard was a part of everything that Heritage Hunt on the Heritage Hunt courts. Orlando, also here. Howard, our tennis partner, my friend, our comrade, my news agency colleague. You will always be in our hearts when we sit under the canopy, and we enjoy the new landscape, the lighting, and more you so unselfishly procured for us. Chris, who's working today, and I want to say hello. A remarkable man with an enjoyable sense of humor, and it was always a pleasure to be in his company. Jim, our British friend. Howard was a great guy and fun to play with. We thank him for the new tennis facilities. We'll always think of him as we sit under the canopy. And I cleaned up the rest of what he had. Ron said Howard was a class act, always a voice of reason in dealing with the world in general and us tennis knuckleheads in particular. And Dimitri said Howard was a very special human being. We had a tennis commissioner before Bill. His name was Will Meisner. and he moved off to South Bend, Indiana, which we consider a
Not
real
far
life
enough.
moving in full circles. Our Notre Dame friend is here, and Howard is in South Bend. But Howard said Will was all in for the Heritage Hunt tennis program, administrative supporter, competitor who played a gentleman's game, unique and cannot be replaced by another. And Will said, we all have some sweet memories when Howard was in attendance at the Heritage Hunt group. For 9 years, he made Heritage Hunt tennis a better place to be. Pat, you're up.
And Will can't quit, so.
Howard, Notre Dame grad. Perfect husband, perfect dad. Tennis his favorite sport. After family, his place was on the court. Former newsie, the scoop he did chase, and in most cases he won the race. Tennis with his friends at age 8, he did play. Getting the new court, it was his biggest day. Howard, your dedication to HH was great. Your trek from Buffalo had to be fate.
Thank you, Will. Gonna bring that over.
Run over.